What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Jonathan. Ow! It's Wednesday and I'm late. Yeah, I'm sorry. Last night I was exhausted. I work retail. So that should say enough about the situation. Anyway, so I took a while. I wrote one off. This is actually not a short one, even though I'm running late. I really hope you enjoy it, and let's get into it.
Suffering by Jonathan Howe. Read to you by Jonathan Howe. We need more help, Anais, the manager, told ESW 620. They didn't complain, at least not outwardly. Yes, ma'am, they said. I should have you know my flame is getting low. If not properly cared for, I might expire. Yeah, the manager said, waving a dismissive hand. All our flames are low. That's business. They walked away, on to the next employee. ESW 620 looked down at their metallic hands, scuffed and rusted. I guess that cleansing is going to need to wait another week. They'd been able to cleanse themselves once in the morning to remove excess grease and debris, but a deep clean that took at least 8 hours? ESW 620 shrugged. It was the same last week and the same this week. Excuse me? A voice called out. ESW 620 looked forward to the customer waiting with their machine in hand. I need the negative thoughts purged from this. Let me see, ESW 620 said. They took the device and examined it. The machine appeared to be some kind of negative emotions purifier. It literally cost more than ESW 620 would have been paid in a week if they were human. How long has it been since you last emptied it? ESW 620 asked. Well, the woman said, looking around sheepishly, this is the first time I've done it. So you got it within the year? ESW 620 clarified. Can I get your message ID? They punched in the string of numbers, finding the woman's account and purchase history. It says here you purchased this device 3 years ago. That sounds right, the woman said. Ma'am, we are not cleared to deal with a threat on this level. If you wish to get this wiped, you're going to need to take it to the government teams. No, the woman said. I pay you guys to fix my products. I pay for the tech team membership. You guys are going to fix it. Ma'am, ESW 620 said in the most exhausted-sounding robotic tone, we are legally cleared to wipe anything that has been filtering for up to 6 months. A day over, and we can't do anything about it. Then why am I paying you guys? You can't solve my problems? She was beginning to sound angry. Can I get a manager to stall 47? ESW 620 said into their headset. Give me a moment, ma'am. This is beyond my capabilities. Clearly, the woman huffed. Something about the word stung. It wasn't ESW 620's fault that the stupid woman had let her negativity filter get too full. All creatures on course knew the dangers of leaving negative emotions unprocessed. ESW 620's manager walked up to their stall. What seems to be the issue? Anais said. She's brought a, your dumb bot won't take my filter to be wiped. The customer raised her voice, cutting them off. Well, let's see what we can do, Anais said. She began working with the customer, going over everything ESW 620 had just learned. They had to stand there and listen to the manager say the same things to the customer. There isn't anything we can do legally, Anais told the woman. A release of that size will destroy all the workers and humans in the vicinity. Literally, it will become a hellscape of monsters. I pay you guys to fix these things, the woman screamed. ESW 620 stared at her with their dull robotic eyes. They didn't care enough to do anything. 620, Anais said, could you call security? I will not be removed until you fix my filter or give me my money back, the customer screamed. ESW 620 tried passing the filtering device back to the woman, but she slapped it down. The device hit the ground and broke open. A filter of Modian dropped to the floor and out of the device. It shattered. ESW calmly huddled over, absorbing the negative energy as it blasted outward. 620, you can't! Anais screamed, her voice quiet over the rushing wind of negative energy. ESW 620 ignored her. They knew what would happen if they didn't. Both humans would turn into monsters. ESW couldn't fight two monsters. They might as well die saving the two rather than die fighting them. As ESW 620 absorbed the emotions, their already low flame flickered. It shrunk smaller and smaller and smaller. Looks like I won't be getting that deep cleanse after all, ESW 620 thought. They continued to pull in the negative energy, trying to absorb it all. You two should probably run, ESW 620 said calmly. I will probably fail to retain a sense of self in mere moments. The customer ran, but Anais stayed, frantically speaking into the headset. ESW 620 watched their flame die out. Blackness enveloped their vision. I'll work anywhere, Kai said. At this point, I just need a job. Well, we take good care of our employees, the hiring manager said. Huh? ESW 620 thought, watching the scene. What's happening? Before them, this Kai was signing papers to work at Textures. We don't hire humans for anything other than managers. And yet, the scene of Kai being hired played out. His first day on the job, how good it felt to help people. Then it turned darker. The moment Kai was first scolded for not selling a product correctly. He'd done everything in the book, and yet Anais was mad. The time he went slightly out of company policy to help a struggling woman, and the way he was berated after. Finally, when Kai was about to leave, he was called into the office. Kai, we've been noticing that you're tired lately, Anais said. We thought it would be good for everyone involved if you do a training session designed for employee productivity. Don't do it, ESW 620 thought. It's a trap. How do I know that? Still, Kai went in for the productivity training. Just as ESW 620 knew, it was actually a Modian line chamber. It analyzed Kai for his emotional levels before releasing stored energies into the room. ESW 620 watched as all Kai's emotions, both good and bad, were neutralized. Before them was a blank canvas. While Kai stood motionless, one of the managers entered. They strapped a device to his arm. It whirred, injecting Kai with a Modian needle. One emotion rang through his head. Be the best employee, a robot whose one goal is to serve texture until your flame runs out. In the memory, for ESW 620 now recognized it for what it was, Kai's body morphed, from one of flesh and blood to metal and wires. When the process was done, the manager removed the device from ESW 620's arm. I think it's time you got to work, they told ESW 620. Kai's eyes flew open and he gasped, breathing heavily. He hurt. Both physically, he felt like he was bruised all over, but emotionally as well. He looked around, not used to human eyes quite yet. Hey, Kai, Anais said, walking up with her hands raised. Are you doing okay? No, Kai growled. Anais stopped. No, Kai yelled. You took me and changed me. You lied. Kai, I didn't, she tried to explain, but Kai cut her off. No, no, no! On the third no, he slammed a fist into the ground. A vibration shook the stall. Kai saw his fist, that of a monster. Kai, if you calm down, we can get you some help, Anais explained. I don't want your help, Kai growled, rising to his feet. As he stood, Kai could feel his muscles stretch, growing larger, stronger. I want you to suffer. Anais screamed. Kai lunged forward, grabbing the terrified woman in his clawed grip. The manager tried to pull out an emergency pulse grenade, but Kai flicked it away. He began lumbering from the stall, bringing Anais toward the back of the building. Where are you taking me, Kai? She screamed. Please, we can work this out. He ignored her screams, crashing through a wall. Up ahead, he saw his destination. It was blocked by a row of security. They brandished Modian-tipped staffs, made for killing monsters like Kai. He looked back to the wall, spotting a broken beam. Kai grabbed it and flung the piece into the men. It's intelligent! One screamed a moment before the beam hit. 3 of the guards died from the first attack. Kai charged the other 2, switching Anais to his offhand. The guards backed up to give him space and to stay between him and the beam. Kai ignored the beam, picking up a dead body and swinging it into the men. Bones crunched as the pair was launched across the warehouse. Kai threw the body in their direction and then turned towards his destination. No, Anais squeaked. Kai stepped up to the large metal vault, flinging the woman inside. She crashed to the opposing wall, her arms snapping. Kai slammed the door closed and pressed the red button. The door locked and the machine began to whir. Kai shrunk down somewhat, becoming more human. He walked to the side of the machine where a large, one-sided window allowed for viewing. Inside, Anais wailed. She pounded on the glass, knowing where it was because she'd been on the other side before. Please don't do this, she cried, panic tears forming. Kai looked around the control panel by the window. 67% complete on the analysis. Next to a microphone was a glowing button. He pressed it and spoke. How many emotionally stunted workers are there at this branch alone? He asked. Anais didn't respond. How many people did you watch, knowing what would happen? How many people did you lie to? Anais didn't answer. She slumped to the ground and wept. Kai might have felt bad, but he'd been on the other side. When it was his turn, he'd done nothing wrong. The machine finished its analysis. A wave of positive and negative emotions filled the chamber. When they were done, Anais sat slumped, eyes dry, stare blank. Kai considered leaving her that way, but he knew textures would be able to help her. He looked around the space. The arm device sat plugged into the control panel. A screen next to it waited for a prompt. Kai stepped over, trying to think of the worst punishment imaginable. He typed the words, pressed enter. The Modian charged on the device and dinged when ready. Kai took the thing and moved to the vault door. He flung it wide open and rushed in. Rather than staying, Kai pulled Anais out. He didn't want to be in the horrible machine longer than he needed. Once back out, he strapped the device to her arm. It whirred to life, injecting her, draining its stored emotional directive. Anais transformed before his eyes. She stayed the same build, but her skin turned to metal. Her hands dissolved, leaving stumps. Her eyes went wide. "What did you do to me?" she cried. Kai watched her eyes glaze over. What did I do to all those people?" "Relive the pain you've caused everyone else," Kai explained. "You aren't able to kill yourself or work any machine. All you can do is suffer." He started walking away, Anais screaming behind him. Hours later, his story was being blasted all over the news. At least, a government-censored version of it. Kai stood atop a building in the abandoned pleasure district, watching the city lights. Below on the street, monsters roamed, looking for prey which angered their specific hatred. Kai shivered in the cold. He tried once more to think a happy thought. Nothing came. His memories of before were hazy and unclear. Damn it, he thought. Kai stepped forward, with one foot about to plunge off the side of a building. A voice screamed and someone pulled him back. Kai tumbled, landing hard. He lay on the roof, groaning in pain. Then a woman laid herself on top of him. "Kai, you're back," she said through tears. "You survived." "I don't know you," Kai said. The woman looked at him, eyes puzzled. "He's not going to remember you yet," another voice called. Behind them, a woman stood on the roof. It was the person from before, the customer. She was of medium height with dirty blonde hair. Before, Kai could have sworn she'd been older, but here she looked about 25. When a wave of negative emotions is used to reawaken a person, they don't recall anything happy. Give them a day, keep them safe, then use this. She placed a device next to them. "I still don't understand," Kai said. "Am I supposed to know you?" "Me? No," the woman said. "But your fiancé?" "Yeah. She's been working tirelessly to help recover you for almost 5 years." A shiver of pain and anger ran through Kai. 5 years, he said quietly. "I lost 5 years to those people." "I'm so sorry," his apparent fiancé cried, tears running down her face. "I tried so hard." Kai lifted her up gently, sitting up himself. "This will help me be more normal?" he asked the mysterious customer. She tilted her head. "You'll never be the same. That being said, given you take it tomorrow, that injection will help you feel more human. In my opinion, you'll be stronger." She turned to walk away. "Consider the research payment for my help." "Thank you," Kai's fiancé called back. "Tell Traveler the same thing." "I plan on it," customer called back. "We're meeting up to discuss today's results soon. If you need us, we'll be on Jerasan." "Hey!" Kai called to the woman. She stopped and turned. "I don't know what's happening, but thank you." The woman nodded before walking away.
All right, we're back. Did I mention I work retail? Yeah, so Kursk can kind of be this dystopian future. And yeah, I really leaned into it for this time. That being said, I don't know for certain if these characters will come back. I mean, one of them, I'll say nothing else. But then like the other mainly Kai, I don't know if he'll come back. That's a good question. But yeah, granted, I should make some prefaces of I don't think that like I don't actually want any of my managers to be forced to suffer for all eternity, unable to kill themselves, but having to relive the pain of everything they've caused. But also, like, what is the point of working retail? I go to work every day, getting paid not enough money to deal with obnoxious managers and obnoxious customers. To do what? To make more money? Where does the money go when we make more of it? I don't know. I don't see any of it. And they would argue, well, they're paying the bills, you're getting a job. Yeah, they're paying the bills, but what happens if they stop paying the bills? Oh no, the company goes down and I move to another company who does the same thing. It's just a cycle, and I'm not like, I don't know. I just don't believe it. I don't believe that somehow one company that's gotten this large and this ridiculously corporate really does care. And they may go, oh, we like our employees, and maybe you do on a personal level, but if your whole system treats you like robots whose entire goal is to just day in, day out, oh, here's your product, here's your this, here's your product, here's this. Can you give us more money for a thing that you don't actually want because we want more money from you? Can you tell I work retail? Anyway, if you want to help me not work retail, share this with your friends. Share this with your friends who work retail so that they can cry with me. But with that, thanks for watching. Again, hit the like button, and I will hopefully see you guys next week. Anyway, neat. Okay, bye.